When it comes to teenage suicide, warning signs can vary. According to suicide.org, depression can be a huge factor when it comes to teenage suicide. Depression can have many faces and has been linked to being the number one cause of teenage suicide. Aside from depression, bullying is a huge factor that can also lead to teenage suicide. I can actually speak to this firsthand. My neighbor was 12 years old when he took his own life. Um, we found out that he was being bullied at school because he liked Metallica, and wore, like, more gothic style clothing. Very nice kid. He just liked a certain type of music and was bullied for it. And it ultimately came to a point where he decided that it was unbearable and took his own life. Um, and I was there for the whole experience. I heard the gunshot, um, the family. It was a very, very traumatic experience that I'll probably never forget for the rest of my life. Um, but a lot of this stuff, it may seem as though it's simple to have some sort of absolute concrete symptom. It's not that. That's not the case at all, actually. Um, as most of you have probably heard, of celebrities like Robin Williams, someone who was a huge entertainer. Well, yeah, he took his own life. Turned out he was incredibly unhappy with a lot of his life and a lot of his choices. And when you're in a young age as an adolescent, a lot of self-doubt can set in. Some other symptoms could be withdrawal from family. It could be your first breakup, your first romantic breakup. Difficulty getting along with others in general. Hard to approach, not really social. Um, Aside from symptoms that you may be able to visually see or kind of experience, some protective factors that can be taken is supporting that person. Check in on your loved ones, your friends. It's never a bad thing to ask how someone's doing. Some other protective factors that could come in would also be purpose of life, life skills, and actually behavioral health care in any facet is incredibly important to someone's well-being. Um, some preventative measurements that can be taken to help decrease teenage suicide, uh, seeing as how firearms are 60% involved in suicide in general from the Mayo Clinic. Locking up firearms, properly teaching kids at a young age, if they are using guns hunting with their parents or family, that they know how to properly use them, that they're not in an instance like where my neighbor was, where he knew exactly where the gun was, it wasn't locked up, grabbed it, locked himself in the basement. Um, you also want to, again, check on the people you care about, friends and family, and be nice to one another. It's not hard to be nice.